is a video response to Deluxe, who recently made the suggestion that if you're a WWE fan who is disgruntled by recent events, such as Daniel Bryan not getting the Royal Rumble spot, or CM Punk walking out, or Batista coming back and just getting launched into the main event, that you come on YouTube or you get a blog or something, and you take a platform for yourself and you try to share your input or contribute your voice to the discussion, and maybe bring about a little bit of change. I'm not sure how effective that will be, but I think it's a pretty good idea, and I have to say I'm pretty disgruntled myself. I'm really disappointed by the last few weeks of WWE television, so I thought I might start contributing my voice to the discussion. And I wasn't always this disgruntled. I mean, I'm a typical internet fan. I've been disappointed over the years, going back to 2006, the whole Cena Reign of Terror, Royal Rumble 2006, Edge losing that title 2 weeks after he got it. Not the best of times, but I think the difference between how things were back then in 2006, 2007, and today is that back then there was not much of a sense that you could do better. You had some guys who were on the horizon, some fan favorites, internet fan favorites. MVP, Mr. Kennedy, Carlito, those kind of guys. But you didn't have the promising talent that you have today in today's WWE. Today you have CM Punk, Daniel Bryan, Zack Ryder. If you want to go back to 2011, Zack Ryder. You have The Shield, you have Bray Wyatt, you have Cody Rhodes, you have a bunch of guys who it seems like the future WWE landscape could be pretty good, and there is more, at least for me, there's more of a sense of urgency. Back then when Cena closed out pay-per-view after pay-per-view, I was disappointed, but I wasn't cynical. I wasn't disheartened by it. Today, when Daniel Bryan misses opportunity after opportunity, I feel fairly disheartened by it, because here we have a guy who is, unanimously chosen. Back in the day, you didn't really have someone like this. I mean, you had Edge, but Edge was always playing a heel, right? And Edge's popularity was, I think, more a mere reflection of Cena's dispopularity. So it could have really been anyone in Edge's place feuding with Cena, and you would have had the same exact, support base surrounding him. I think the same was true of Randy Orton back in those days, when you had Randy Orton versus John Cena. Internet fans really got behind Orton. We wanted Orton to win. SummerSlam, 2007? A lot of people were disappointed with that ending. A lot of people thought Orton should have beat Cena for the title at that pay-per-view, but Cena won, if I remember correctly. Everyone was pretty disappointed. But Orton wasn't really our guy. It was more like we didn't want Cena to be the guy than we wanted Orton to be the guy. But these days, we have a guy, we have unanimously chosen a guy. And that guy is, surprisingly, Daniel Bryan. And Daniel Bryan is unanimously the most over guy in the company right now. He gets the biggest pops. He gets the most chants. He's so popular that people they chant his name in matches that he's not even involved with. People are really invested in this guy. He's a very relatable character. He's a very relatable person, and I think people really want to see him win. And I think WWE opened a Pandora's box with this Daniel Bryan guy. I think when it was them who decided really to put Daniel Bryan into this position, they launched it. The fans did want Daniel Bryan to face John Cena at SummerSlam 2013, but I don't think the fans would have been rioting if we hadn't had Daniel Bryan versus John Cena. So it was really WWE who chose to do this match, and I think they opened Pandora's box, because now people are very invested in Daniel Bryan. People saw what things could be like, and people are into it, and they want Daniel Bryan in that spot. So it's really disheartening to me when the fans unanimously choose a guy, and they say, in this case it's Daniel Bryan, and they say they change his name, they get the big pops, and WWE doesn't really want to get behind that, especially in a case like Royal Rumble, where it seems like there's no better opportunity to give the fans the payoff they've been waiting for. Daniel Bryan getting screwed over. The Royal Rumble is kind of the place where you can't get screwed over. If you win the Rumble, you main event WrestleMania. There's no politics, no takesy backsies. They had the whole thing in 2009 where Orton won the Rumble, and WWE, despite the fact that Orton had kicked Vince in the skull and sort of declared war on the WWE, they had no choice but to let him into the main event. So that set kind of a precedent for a perfect scenario here, where Daniel Bryan, if he won the Rumble, he main events WrestleMania. There's nothing the Authority can do about that. Nothing, Stephanie and Triple H, those guys can do about it. So it's, perfect opportunity in the storyline for Daniel Bryan to win the Rumble and main event WrestleMania. But we didn't get that, obviously. And fans were not happy about that, and I was not happy about that. And like I said, I've been disappointed with WWE in the past. Edge losing in 2006 or losing in 2007, but those weren't our guys. Like I said, Edge was very popular, but he was more of a reaction to John Cena. He was the shadow cast by the hatred for John Cena. Or no, I don't think he was ever the fans' guy. He was kind of also a shadow cast by Cena, and they were both heels. So when those defeats happened, I wasn't as disheartened now as I am now, because those weren't our guys. But Daniel Bryan is our guy, and we haven't had a guy in a long time. This is the first time in a long time where the fans have unanimously chosen a guy. And you could point to CM Punk, you could point to Jeff Hardy, but in the case of CM Punk, he was he was much like Edge. He was a shadow cast by the disenfranchised state of the WWE fans. And although I think CM Punk is a big fan favorite, I think he's a little bit better off as a heel. And when we had babyface CM Punk, it was mostly because we didn't have anyone better. But now we do have a better babyface than CM Punk, and that's Daniel Bryan. So I think CM Punk really is the heel that WWE deserves. But he was the babyface that WWE needed back in 2011 before the Daniel Bryan thing took off. But now we have Daniel Bryan. I think he's the guy. CM Punk was never the guy. He just kind of said what everyone was thinking, and he was pretty over, but he wasn't the guy like Daniel Bryan feels like the guy. And so we've chosen a guy, and we've gotten behind him unanimously, more or less, and the WWE says, no, you're not going to get that, and basically just spits in our face, slaps in our face, and it's disheartening knowing that your voice has no power to influence what's on TV. It's disheartening to know that no matter how much you like a character, no matter how much you like a wrestler, nothing you can do can help them. And it's the same kind of situation I think that the wrestlers are feeling. CM Punk, Zack Ryder talk about this imaginary brass ring where they're told to reach for the brass ring and they can't get it. And much in the same way, the fans are told to get behind a wrestler if they like them. And we've done that, and it hasn't worked. So if this Daniel Bryan thing does not pay off, then the message that we will receive is that there's no point in cheering, there's no point in vocalizing, there's no point in getting into the product, because nothing we do or say can influence anything. So it's really it's a big severing of ties between the fans and the WWE, because you got to keep that relationship strong. You got to have a trust, and this is what most companies know, is that their trust with their consumer base is a very sacred thing, and WWE has, during the Royal Rumble pay-per-view, broken that trust, I think. I think a lot of fans, such as myself and such as Deluxe Man and others, are very offended, they feel betrayed by a company that they put a lot of emotional and maybe financial stock into. So I think that I will begin to use a platform such as YouTube to vocalize my thoughts on the WWE. And I don't know if my thoughts will be worth anything. I don't know if they're going to change anything, but I do think one more voice in the crowd will make some kind of difference. The butterfly effect. Who knows? Maybe someone hearing this clip will go on to become the fan that changes everything. Who knows? So, yeah, you might be hearing from me a bit more often. I don't know.